Okay, welcome back. So this is going to be part 3. So we have this extraordinarily basic and imprecise model here that we're starting with, and we will come back and do all sorts of hopefully nice things to make this guy a lot more interesting and usable. I'm just gonna, like we did before, I'm going to just so at a glance we can sort of differentiate between the different parts. I'm going to select all of this sort of upper piece here, and I'm just going to add the brown material to it. So we have an idea of what we're dealing with, and we'll sneak another line in there, reverts that one, and we'll assign that. Okay. So this is what we got so far. So basic sort of slightly cartoony humanoid kind of character. And what we're going to work on now is making some hands. So hands are, they can be really, really complicated, but they're normally quite easy. So again, we're not trying to do photorealism, so we're just going to keep it simple. So I've clicked here at my 3D cursor. I'm going to go Shift A and add a cube, and go S, scale it all the way back, and we'll just assign our kind of skin material to it from the beginning. So I'm going to scale it all the way down to here. Now this is going to be the beginning of a finger. So you can go SX, and if you look at a standard finger, there are basically 3 basic sections to it. So I'm going to go Control or and kind of a loop cut to there, so this will be the top of the finger, and then this part here is going to be the bend, if that makes any sense. So we're going to go E and extrude slightly and scale it in, then move it up, and E and scale it back out, and G. Now this is slightly exaggerated, but you'll get the idea. I'm going to extrude it again. This is going to be the middle sort of section. Extrude it, scale, and G. Extrude and scale, and scale it a tiny bit more, and extrude that back into there. Now I'm going to make this slightly larger, and this one, this one here slightly larger. Okay, so this is my basic sort of shape. Now I'm going to go loop cut through there and scale it on Z to make it slightly more rounded. I don't need any of this geometry at the back. This would be, inside the hand. So I'm going to select that and go X and delete the faces. And then I'm going to make a very crude kind of nail here. So I'm going to select these 4. And I'm going to hit extrude and then escape. Scale back. GZ, move it down a bit. Extrude and escape, and then S. And I'm going to scale this a little bit, and then select these 2. Okay, and okay, so this is a very simple kind of finger. There's lots of geometry missing, and it's there's lots we need to do with it to make it look a bit better, but as a starting point, not bad. And it's slightly too fat, so I'm going to scale it a little bit on X just to there. Now we have 4 fingers. They're not the same at all. They look quite different, but we are making a toonish character, so we're not going to worry about it too much. So we're going to go scale. We're going to make this middle finger slightly bigger and place that there. I'm going to select this guy and press L, Shift D, place this here, and we're going to pretend the two of them are the same size, and then Shift and D and scale down our little finger and place that in there. And they're not all straight, so they all kind of kick out at a slight angle. So we're just going to put our little finger kind of kicking out a little bit. And a thumb is the same, except it is that. So we'll go Shift D, and then we're going to go or minus 90. It's not quite 90. It should be, at that angle there. Not quite 45, but and then rotate that and move it in to about there. Now that is a hand, or at least the beginnings of a hand. Now we're going to scale the whole thing down. Now I'm not going to rotate it so that it's at the appropriate angle yet. We obviously want to join it all up and make a something a bit more coherent from it. So first things first, we're going to join the base of the fingers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and we'll go W bridge edge loop, and we'll do the same over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and lastly these guys here. So now our fingers are sort of all joined together. Now again, I'll be kind of quite crude with this. I can actually delete that loop there. I can always add a loop, cut back in at a later point. So I'm going to join that and that there. So again, we're just trying to make a coherent sort of piece there. So I'm going to add a loop cut in there and scale it up a little bit. Okay. Now, let's make, so I am going to deselect that bit and deselect that bit there, and then I'm going to go E and extrude this back to here. And then we're going to try and join things together. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we can make a face, and hopefully do something similar here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's not quite right. Oh yeah, so we will undo that. Oops. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do this without making a triangle, because I do not want the triangle. And there are a number of ways to get around the triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select that loop cut there and go C and deselect that one, and then from the top I'm going to extrude backwards and scale it in, and then we will attack this problem a slightly different way. So I'll be able to go 1, 2, 3, 4, put in a face, and then I'm going to loop cut this here, and I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I have my 4 here. Now, so we've quite a bit of geometry here, so I can go spacebar into sphere and make it slightly rounder. I'll have to do that. But what we want to do now is we want to sort of have a comparison to, so if we select this here, we can look up, we've got 12 verts, and we select the bottom of this hand, we've got 30. So 12 and 30 are not a good match in terms of trying to get them to join together. Now there's a number of things we can do. So I can delete those, and that will get rid of so 4 on the top and 4 on the bottom. Oops. So that'll be 8, so then we'll have 12 versus 22, and we can just join up the rest of it, and that will make our hands very flat, but it will rid us of kind of geometry problems. Or what we can do is we can work on how you would reduce the number of verts, or the amount of geometry that you would have in a hand. So I'm going to take these two here and to show you this little kind of technique. I'm going to move this forward and I'm going to delete those two there. So, oops, and there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hit F where this kind of knuckle would be, or in between where the knuckle would be. I'm going to do the same here. So I'm going to delete these two, and then move these two here forward. Whoops. And select those two and go F. And now I've removed 2 verts that are kind of converging on the back. And I can do the same over here. I can delete these two and move these two forward, and then create a quad here. And now we've got fixed. Now if we select this loop here, we've moved down to 23. I can take a similar tack here, so I can take these two and delete them. Move these two forward and complete my quad that way, and then hit face and delete that guy, bring these guys forward, complete the quad and hit face, and we'll just pause there. So we can repeat this technique in several places, but we need to be careful not to do it where there's going to be a lot of bending, because it will get a slightly unnatural bend. So so I'm going to take these two here and delete them. Bring this forward. Oop. So I've done that with 3 there. So I'll take these two forward. Oops. And complete the quad here. And then I am, oops, going to extrude this to here. 3, 4. And now we'll do another kind of count. We're down to 18, so we have to kind of break down another 6. So every time we do this kind of technique, we're losing 2. So I'm going to take these 2 here and delete them. Move these 2 forward. Oh, wrong vert. Wrong vert again. And then press F. No. Ah. That one. That's not too hard. So face, and then go face in there. So that should bring us down to about 16. And again, we have to be careful not to, in this process, to deform our mesh too much. And we can do the same over here. So take these 2 and bring these 2 forward. And then complete these. We can take that and bring it out a little bit. So now if we do a vert count here in our hand, we've got 14 versus 12 up here. So we do it one more time, and I'm going to do it just here. But instead of deleting, I was going to move these 2 forward. So I'm going to go G, and then just complete a face. So now this loop here has 12, and this loop also has 12. So let's from the top, I'll extrude this back and scale it in a bit. And the body of our hand here is a bit small, and we've, this angle is too obtuse, so we'll move that out a little bit. And we will extrude it one more time. Okay. Now this is all very flat, so we will fix this now. So we'll take our. So we're trying to get like your wrist isn't sort of cylindrical, but it's not. It's definitely not as flat as this. So we'll just use our 2-sphere kind of tool here. Now again, it hasn't done that beautifully because some of the geometry is still too kind of close together. So we can by hand kind of move it out a bit. So what I'm going to do, because my body is getting in the way, is select all of this guy here and all of this guy here and just hit H for hide. And in solid mode he will disappear, and I will be able to have a better look at what I'm doing. So I'll move this out, this up. Okay, and so let's go scale on Z. Okay, and then we're going to put on our proportional editing. And we can go, oh, okay, so the area of influence is too large. And what are we going to do here? So we're so if we look at our hand this way, so this is the top of our hand, so we should be able to raise this area just a little bit, and whoops, here, lift this up. Okay, and we can take this and this and go GZ. Okay, so we're not going to obsess. We'll see what we can do. So we will go back into edit mode, Alt H to unhide. We'll take our hand and we will rotate it. And then from the side we will rotate it. And we'll move it roughly into position. And scale it. Oops. Okay. And because we have matched the vert count, we can just select the two and go W bridge edge loop, and it shouldn't do that. Oh no, it's okay. I thought it was giving me triangles. They're just not perfectly aligned, that's all. Okay, again, we're going to come back and fix all this up and make it less ugly, but oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Okay, and those arms are far too long. But that's okay, because he's a bit of a toonish kind of character. Okay, so that took a bit longer than I thought, and we have, you know, look at that. Look how awful that is. Far from beautiful results, but we'll get there. So actually, that's okay, so we shall for now leave it like that, and then we will come back and make it better in our next one.